Robert Heinlein said, "A generation which ignores history has no past and has no future." Hello and welcome to This Week in History right here on Flip TV. I am Patricia Bassi. As usual, on this episode of the program, we will be looking at historical events. Yes, past events. We're going to be looking at the Canadian woman who broke pro-sport barriers, as well as New Zealand becoming the first country to grant national voting rights to women. This and many other events are what we're going to be looking at on this episode of the program. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. September 19, 1893. With the signing of the Electoral Bill by Governor Lord Glasgow, New Zealand became the first country in the world to grant national voting rights to women. The bill was the outcome of years of suffragette meetings in towns and cities across the country, with women often traveling considerable distances to hear lectures and speeches, pass resolutions, and sign petitions. New Zealand women first went to the polls in the national elections of November 1893. September 19, 1985, a powerful earthquake struck Mexico City and left 10,000 people dead, 300,000 injured, and thousands more homeless. At 7:18 in the morning, the residents of Mexico City were jolted awake by an 8.1 magnitude earthquake, one of the strongest to ever hit the area. The effects of the quake were particularly devastating because of the type of ground upon which the city sits. September 20, 1886. One of the youngest of the world's major cities, Johannesburg, was founded in 1886 following the discovery of gold on September 20, 1886. The city was initially part of the Transvaal, an independent Afrikaner or Boer republic that later became one of the 4 provinces of South Africa. September 21, 1999, an earthquake in Taiwan killed thousands of people, caused billions of dollars in damages, and left an estimated 100,000 homeless. It was the worst earthquake to hit Taiwan since a 1935 tremor that killed 3,200 people. At 1:47 in the morning of September 21, with most people eagerly awaiting the annual Autumn Festival, the island nation of Taiwan was shaken awake by a 7.6 magnitude earthquake. September 22, 1862. Lincoln issues Emancipation Proclamation. President Abraham Lincoln issued a preliminary Emancipation Proclamation which set a date for the freedom of more than 3 billion enslaved in the United States and recast the Civil War as a fight against slavery. When the Civil War broke out in 1861, shortly after Lincoln's inauguration as America's 16th president, he maintained that the war was about restoring the Union and not about slavery. September 23, 1992, Canadian woman broke pro-sport barrier. Manon Rhéaume became the first woman to play in one of the 4 major men's North America pro sports leagues when she took the ice for the NHL's Tampa Bay Lightning in a preseason game. The 20-year-old goalie faces 9 shots and allowed 2 goals in St. Louis' 6-4 victory. September 24, 1789. The Judiciary Act of 1789 was passed by Congress and signed by President George Washington, establishing the Supreme Court of the United States as a tribunal made up of 6 justices who were to serve on the court until death or retirement. That day, President Washington nominated John Jay to proceed as Chief Justice, and John Rutledge, William Cushing, John Blay, Robert Harrison, and James Wilson to be associate justices. September 24, 2016, the National Museum of African American History and Culture opened. More than 15 years after it was first established, the National Museum of African American History and Culture opened on the National Mall on September 24, 2016. Barack Obama, the nation's first African American president, led the ceremony and officially opened the museum by ringing the Freedom Bell, a bell from an African American Baptist church founded in 1776. September 25, 2011, Kenyan politician and environmental activist Wangari Maathai died at age 71. She was the first Black African woman to win a Nobel Prize, the 2004 Nobel Peace Prize. She was also the founder of the Green Belt movement. Wangari Maathai was born in Nyeri, a rural area of Kenya, in 1940. She obtained a degree in biological sciences from Mount St. Scholastica College in Ashburn, Kansas, a Master of Science degree from the University of Pittsburgh, and pursued doctoral studies in Germany and the University of Nairobi before obtaining a PhD from the University of Nairobi, where she also taught veterinary anatomy. Okay viewers, this is where we draw the curtain on this episode of the program This Week in History right here on Flip TV. I am Patricia Bassi and I'll be leaving you with this statement from Martin Luther King Jr. He said, "We are not makers of history, we are made by history." Till I come your way again, do well to follow us on our various social media platforms and don't forget to subscribe if you're just watching for the first time, and like and of course drop your comments.